them come. This is their fate.
Let me with my Birdman hands. All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay, here with my near and dear friends, Jalen and Josh. Today we got quite a bit to talk about. Some stuff about Bungie, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, bringing their stuff out. We got a lot of weird layoffs been happening, so we're going to talk about that, and that's very much so impacting Bungie right now. But there's plenty of other things. Alan Wake 2 being phenomenal, games like that coming out this entire year, and where all this stuff kind of sits now that all these great games are just shipping left and right. So yeah, got a lot to talk about, and we're gonna jump right into it. But before we do, as always, Jalen, Josh, tell the people how you been, what you've been up to, what you've been doing, what you've been playing, how life going, any updates for the week. Talk to the people.
You wanna take it away, Jalen?
I was just going to tell you to take it away. Go ahead. No, not at all, my boy.
Somebody take it away.
Nah, I go.
Man.
So I'm dead. I mean, it ain't been a whole lot for me. Today Halloween, spooky season out here.
Yes.
But nah, so I had celebrated Halloween weekend. I had a pretty good time, I guess. I had my Miles Morales fit on. I'm like, man, this mother going easier. Easier.
You thought you was cold. You thought you were tight. Nah,
bro, I didn't got so much from people.
It looked straight, G. I ain't gonna hold you.
Bro, people were saying I look like Miles Morales. I'm like, man, y'all keep trying to be funny. I'm like, man, people want to be funny. All right, I'm gonna be him. And then people like, bro, you the real Miles Morales. You look just like him. And you got the Chicago ones on and this, that. I'm like, all right, this is kind of like, this mug is kind of. And then I seen the other Miles Morales. I'm like, man, I put dog walking y'all, bro. Y'all ain't even got the kicks. But no, that was cool. So I enjoyed myself. I got to hang with some of my friends and stuff like that. And then, but I mean, other than that, things been pretty chill. I mean, I ain't really played any new game or anything. Unfortunately, that's not a knock on any of the devs or whatever. But I said I was gonna beat Sea of Stars, and like I said, I was gonna beat it the next week. And I was fenced to. I'm on the last dungeon and everything, but the game glitched on me, and I can't beat it now. I've been trying to update it. I just spent like an hour trying to figure it out. Granted, I could have spent more time doing it right, but I just feel as though as a consumer, I shouldn't have to spend an hour trying to fix something after I already bought the game, and so I can finish beating the game and stuff like that. Literally went to a whole YouTube video at the same part to make sure I wasn't tweaking on what I was supposed to be doing, because the game ain't like a real puzzly game where you need a guy, and I go there and people in the comments, yeah, I came to the same video too. My panel not going up. Yeah, I thought I was tripping and the game ain't working right, and I ain't know, but I guess y'all here too. I'm like, dang, I'm right with these jokers. I'm here too.
Y'all up in the crib, need some money or something. Go ahead, continue.
Fucked up on Sea of Stars. They need a patch or something. If I need a patch or something, like I'm fucked up right now. Right? I'm effed up. I need a patch, but
yeah.
I don't know. I might go back to it. They said the patch came out or something like that, but I don't know how to get it to update on my Steam Deck because it's supposed to automatically update. I didn't close the game, tried to manually search for an update, this, that, and the third. I was like, I didn't put an hour into this, and that hour could have been towards me beating the game because I'm at the last dungeon. So, it ain't like the dungeon's crazy long, but so I don't know if y'all gonna see me beat that game. I ain't even gonna cap. That kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So the game's still good though, but I'm kind of disappointed that I ain't gonna beat it. But that's about it for me, though.
Okay, well, dang, that's unfortunate. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. I thought it was gonna take a little bit, but I didn't think it was gonna be still broken in that state. So, okay, well, what about you, Josh? What you been up to? What you been doing? Anything break on you?
Anything break? Yeah, I broke my phone.
What?
Well, I didn't break it. My my little one broke it.
Oh no!
Dang, she fried that
Not
mug.
the first damage. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
I'm always careful with my electronics. 2 hands on everything, and don't leave it by itself. But it was on the counter, and she wanted to move some stuff around and knock them right off. So the screen is broken. I mean, it's still usable, but now it's at that point where I can't wait anymore. I gotta upgrade.
God,
So
gee.
I got some Google Pixel recommendations.
Ah, yes, sir.
Ah,
Stop it!
So
You
let me
know
know.
you've been iPhoned up since 2020.
Otherwise, I gotta get the new iPhone.
Yeah, which you will be. But
Other than that, we didn't do too much for Halloween. Actually, just there was some Halloween events going on for kids. So we took her over to like a little Halloween party for kids, dressed up as Elmo.
Mm-hmm.
She ended up having a lot of fun, run around, play with the other kids, and
Enjoying
she don't
herself.
eat candy or anything. So yeah, just run around for a couple hours, have fun. But we didn't go out or do anything here because Halloween is not as big in Japan, and most people that do it are mostly just like college age. Just go out, hang out at the club or something like that.
Gotcha.
No trick or treating or anything like that. I did play some spooky games. We played that real spooky game that put me to sleep. The finals.
First off,
man, that game was kind of tight, bro.
That game was interesting enough to turn it back on. At least it wasn't like the greatest, but it definitely was interesting enough. We need to talk about that too. I forgot all about it. We put that on the docket.
I felt like it was time to join the fun.
Join the
Have
fun.
some fun.
We played Hyperscape we played Hyperscape a couple times too, but that game was sleepy too. But
man, this game
honestly, I
terrible.
haven't played too many games. We tried out the finals. It was a thing.
Yeah.
And then I played Call of Duty. Trying to unlock all the guns.
Yeah,
mostly
talk about a chore. That's that Call of Duty. That's the chore. Like, bruh, all right, I'm done with this. I'm at like 870 souls, and like I'm exhausted. But yeah, yes, okay. Well, I mean, the finals are straight. We'll talk about it, but continue. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's straight. But yeah, Call of Duty is a grind. Trying to unlock all these guns. Most of them have requirements where you got to play, level up this shotgun to max level, and then get 30 kills with it. Yep. So it's a chore, but the weapons are necessary, and since they are going forward, I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna worry about all the camos and attachments, but at least have the gun ready.
For sure.
Because the early campaign things start this week, and then the game launch next week.
Yep.
So it's
early
pretty close.
Campaign on Friday.
Yep. I'm locked in with my pre-order. Just waiting on Jalen confirmation. So, we all there day one.
Yeah,
November.
He definitely was supposed to buy it, and now we've made strong commitments. Right, ours are digital. I don't know if Josh's is, but mine's is digital. So I need to make sure Jalen is actually going to buy the game because he said he was. At least he said he was.
Man, I was about to say that I meant to text you back at work. I got busy, and I was supposed to hit you back about that wager.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to beat it. And we're going to talk about Alan Wake too. But we definitely need, just to keep y'all in the loop, Jalen, I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more games unless I had the time to beat him. So I was going to hold off on buying a lot of games, but I got convinced to play Alan Wake 2, or convinced myself that I was going to finish it in a timely manner. So I said I'm going to beat it this weekend, and Jalen said, "Yeah, I'll take that bet." So basically, he's trying to figure out if I'm going to beat this game this weekend, which I am definitely going to. I feel like I said I've already put some time in it, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So I don't really see myself stopping unless kids get involved. And at that point, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to take up most of my free time now is going to go to Alan Wake 2. I was just playing it before y'all hopped on this because I had some time. So I'm going to beat it. I just, you know, I got to actually do it. So if you want to take that bet, go ahead. All I need to get to is the credit roll. So
if you beat it, y'all hear it first. If he beat Alan Wake in a lot of time that he permitted himself, then I'll buy Modern Warfare. If not, I ain't getting it.
That was supposed to be something like
you hear him talk?
Nah.
That ain't accountable.
I mean, if you beat it, you might have to get the
Vault Edition.
Vault Edition.
Yeah, right. Audi part.
Yeah, get the Vault Edition. So yeah, let's put some stakes on it. If I beat Alan Wake 2, you get the Vault
I'm gonna need
Edition.
you to rock that shiny ghost.
Digitally. No, physical version. You need it digitally. And at that point, yeah, we can make a bet. You get that, and I get this. Yep. That sounds like a plan to me.
Nah.
You don't want to wager that? What, extra 40? Is ain't nothing but an extra 40? You got it, big man. You got it.
I'm not paying extra money for no duty.
But yeah. So, anyways, what I've been doing, I've been playing Alan Wake 2. For the Halloween, for the festivities, me and the kids went out. We dressed up as minions. They dressed up as minions. I dressed up as Gru. And we went to the Boo at the zoo. We went to the zoo and they just kind of pass out candy and, see the animals. But it was really good, fun time. They enjoyed themselves. That was the only thing we really did. And then first time ever in my life passing out candy at my house. Because I haven't owned it for a very long time. But a very interesting experience. We didn't pass it out as in like sit there and wait for people to come. We just kind of set out our dishes and kind of let the kids pick. So it was interesting to see that because I never did it before. And maybe next time I'll actually sit out there and pass out the candy. But overall, most of the kids got something. I think there's some still left out there that I got to go pick up in a minute. But Halloween was successful, hopefully, for all the kids around here. But yeah. Outside of that, I've been playing Alan Wake 2, and it's really, really good, and everybody knows that. But I don't know if I want to start there or I'm going to start with Bungie. But yeah, I think outside of that, just to wrap up what I've been doing, I've been playing Alan Wake. I've been playing Call of Duty a lot, trying to get this ghoulie skin, which I don't even know if it's worth it at this point. And then I've been also... trying to make side bets, make sure I actually beat certain games, hanging out with the kids, and looking at all this craziness happening on the internet about gaming right now. But yeah, let's start with Alan Wake because I guess that's the most fresh in my mind right now, and it's easy to kind of transition into that. So, Alan Wake 2 recently came out. I think it was on the 26th, not too long ago, and it did get really rave reviews. The 27th. It got really good reviews, simply from its artistic and more so story than gameplay, but then really, really on the graphics. Like, I've never seen a game get praised so much for being graphically like superior to others and like in a bunch of different ways. Like, this game has so much more new technology involved in it that even its medium and low settings are like high settings normally on regular games. So the game looks really, really good to play. I'm playing on my PC on the 7900 XTX, and I decided to go for more clarity than ray tracing. Obviously, this card is not meant for that, and I don't care what nobody says. 7900 XTX is not a card for ray tracing. The only card that is available for true ray tracing is the 4090, and that's it. Everything else is kind of like, you can get there, but it ain't gonna look the greatest. I just feel like there's a level right now that's being held back for ray tracing, and there's not that many cards that will do it in a scale that I'm happy with. I will say that DLSS has a better experience overall, and what they do with theirs is a lot better than what AMD does with theirs. So if there is some cards in between that, the 4070, 3080 Ti, those type of cards, 3080, those cards can still have a good experience. But honestly, I'm going for more frames and I'm going for clarity. So that's the reason why I went with the 7900 XTX in the first place, and that's exactly what I get. The game looks great no matter what, but ray tracing off. The only thing I ever miss normally when ray tracing is off is puddle reflections and like reflections and mirrors, because that's the only thing I really care about. Everything else can miss me for now until I'm really at that point where I feel like I need it. I'd rather have a higher frame rate with very much so a full native picture versus having it upscaled with some type of reconstruction. So that's what I'm playing it on. It looks amazing. It runs amazing. I haven't had any issues with the game yet. This is an Epic game exclusive, so take that for what you will. But I've been playing it on that, and I'm actually enjoying it. The only thing I will say about Alan Wake 2 is that there is like I don't know if there's like necessarily a hype train behind it, or like there's like, it feels like there's an agenda. I feel like the product is good enough on its own, but sometimes I feel like, okay, there's a lot of information coming out about this game. There's a lot of praise happening for this game, and maybe it's just simply a good game, but sometimes I feel like it's a little overloaded. Like, when Epic's involved, there's a pockets involved, and I think that there's just something to this game that is a little more than meets the eye. I don't think the game is bad. I don't think it's like a bad game or anything. It's just, something about it makes my spidey senses go off a little bit. It just feels a little bit different how it's being approached and presented to the world. And it may just be that they just got the money for it, and it's because it's Epic. But I see it constantly. I see it all around. I see all the critics praising it. I see people that don't really know much about games talking about Alan Wake 2. And I know there's a lot of like this whole artistic side of it, and I think it's really cool. Like, I like Remedy. I just didn't think everybody else liked Remedy as much as I've seen they like Remedy, because Control came out and it wasn't that much of fan service. Alan Wake 2 is much more of it already has a market or people that was already interested in it, but it's not that big of a game to the point where it should be dominating my feed for over the last 3 to 5 days. But at the same time, it just came out Friday, so I can't really knock it for doing what it's supposed to do to market the freaking game. But overall, Alan Wake 2 is great at 3 things right now. It's great at optimization on PC, consoles, and everything in between. The Xbox Series X is probably the best way to play it on consoles right now, as it is outpacing the PS5 version. But on a technical stance, I think this is where this game kind of shines as a pillar, and then there's a secondary pillar of story, and then there is lastly is the gameplay. But I don't know if everybody keeps saying it's game of the year. I have to keep playing it. Obviously, I'm excited to play it, and I'm actually interested in continuing playing it. And now I just feel like I'm harping on the game and putting it down, but I'm not trying to. What I'm trying to get to is that it's truly like a new leap for console and PC gaming, to the point where the controversy around it being so hard to run has melted away, and we are left with just a great game. And I think because a bunch of eyes were on it for that, it's causing it to now be pushed into the light even further, because not only do they deliver on what they promised, it runs well, it looks great, and it plays great. So it could be just that simply put into motion, that they had some controversy right in front of it, and people were probably looking to be down on a game, and it couldn't because it's actually a really, really good game. That now we just have an abundance of people just talking and praising it and loving it and all that good jazz. But yeah. Now let's talk about the game itself. I don't know what's happening in this game yet, and it's like you play as a detective, and you kind of get an understanding. Like Alan Wake 2 is a mystery in itself. I think I can honestly say Remedy, the company, has the best presentation in gaming out. Like the way they present stories, the way they present camera cuts, the way they create their worlds, the way they decide to do bold and strong, like even when they introduce you to different scenarios and worlds, and they kind of do this musical score and like push it to push it to you like as if it's like something. So I have never seen a group of people be so aware of their artistic vision that they are, because it just doesn't come across like that in most games. Like it does feel that way, and I kept going back to it. I was like, why is Alan Wake 2 so different from any other of their Remedy games? And I think Control set the groundwork a lot for this game to make actually look and play the way it plays. But yeah, I honestly, I'm very surprised. To an extent, I think I always thought it was going to be a great looking game, and I thought I was going to play decently. I just didn't think it was going to be put into a stratosphere of the greatest, new coming thing, that the greatest thing since sliced bread, the best thing since Cyberpunk 2077 in graphics quality. Like, I did not expect that. I just expected a really solid, really solid survival horror. So I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think I want to shut up now and let you guys talk. But Alan Wake 2, for all extensive purposes, is a really good game, and for $41 it felt like a steal. So I'm glad I bought it for $41. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up now.
No, I haven't seen much of Alan Wake 2 other than like some of the graphics trailers. But as far as like the story, they usually lean towards like mysteries and stories that really unfold over time. I liked Alan Wake 1 a lot as far as like the story. Like you said, they're really good at weaving the entire like narrative together. And I think it's like, I don't know who directs it or who writes it, but it feels like the team working on it they're very professional writers, and like they're very used to like mystery novels and stuff like that. So if I pick up a Stephen King novel, I feel like the story is going to be very complex, but it's going to be very like detailed and like really tie well together. Yeah. And I definitely get that from Remedy, in which I don't get that from anyone else in games, really. Because, like, people say Kojima is very good, but, like, there's some interesting stuff, but his stuff is not as, like, tight or well thought as, like, people hype it up to be. Like, I say he has interesting ideas, but he's not a professional, like, novel writer.
I think there's something to even be said about cinematography in this, like the way they weave in cinematography with cuts for the game, and how they treat it as if it's like this window to media, not per se just a certain type of form of media. It is like an entryway to all forms, and it weaves it all together to make it something more than what it is, So I think that it's like a master class in a lot of that stuff. I'm watching something that's meant to only be watched and not to be interacted with, but you can actually interact with it. So sometimes it does, it takes you it pulls you so far in that sometimes you like, dang, this don't even feel like it play like a game. This feels like a movie that I'm watching this experience happen to me. So, that is hard to do, and it's hard to do, especially when you're trying to keep someone engaged for a certain period of time, and you don't want something to become repetitive or anything like that. Like I said, it's blowing me away in a lot of great ways, and I think that they have nailed a lot of the stuff they tried in Control and Quantum Break. I think they have succeeded in that from what I'm seeing, and what I've played. I think that's a good sentiment, and that's really all they needed to do. They really just needed to prove.
Yeah, with Alan Wake, the story was really, really good. The gameplay was okay for the time. It wasn't like amazing, but Control really upped the bar for them with having a lot better control. I mean, a lot better gameplay.
No pun intended.
Yeah, a lot better gameplay, and the narrative was still very good. Wasn't as like as good as Alan Wake, because Alan Wake got a lot more going on and like emotional stakes and stuff like that. But Control was really, really good, and so I think it sounds like they were able to combine both those strengths into something really good. So I'm looking forward to it. The only reason I'm not playing it is because like I don't like being locked into exclusives on PC. So I want to wait and see what happens as far as like Steam release or things like that. But who knows? I might get it cheap just to experience it. But
yeah,
I think
really
it'd be worth
like Epic, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't really get mad at them for. I definitely don't like it on PC, but I just got here, so I'm just like whatever. My Steam library isn't that huge, and I feel like Epic has provided a lot of free games that I don't mind having that launcher. But at the same time, I know what they're doing. I know what they're trying to achieve, and you know what? If they bankroll it most of the game, I gotta respect where they want to put it. So I just left it at that. But I do not like that it's on Epic alone. I really like Steam and I like their OS, and that's what got me into PC gaming, because they have an extension of itself that's kind of in this it's kind of in this safe area, which I call the safe area, but it really is not. It's Linux, but it's Steam OS. So I find that to be enjoyable, and I like that it's controlled space. It's a controlled space and a controlled thing. So that got me into PC gaming, which is not controlled, which is all over the place, which is very much so a roller coaster. But I at least know my Steam Deck makes sense most of the time, and that's fine. But yeah, it is crazy. What about you, Jalen? I heard you picking it up. You picking it up tomorrow?
Right, thanks.
Did you play Max Payne or any of those games, Remedy games?
Nah.
No, none of them. Hey.
Yeah, I ain't played none of them.
I mean, I liked it, the Max Payne 1 and 2. I didn't like 3 so much, but I did like 1 and 2. I mean, I always could think, everybody knows the dual pistols flying through the time, slowing down time and all that stuff with the pain pills. Never understood the concept of it, but now that I think about it, I was like, Max Payne was a look, I just thought it was cool because he could slow himself down and shoot. But he over there taking it. Yeah. Max Payne's a little dark. But I liked it what they were starting with, and I liked that I liked the gameplay. That was pretty much it. Probably shouldn't have been playing it at the time. But then when they brung out Quantum Break, and I was probably like the only other one, I was probably like, it wasn't that many of us that actually liked Quantum Break enough to beat it. But I beat Quantum Break. The story stuff was but I liked what they were doing with the whole concept of time and all that stuff. They always messing with time, and I feel like that is something that's like one of their staples. So Yeah, and I kind of carry forward with Control. I really like the Control. I really like the side mission. I like the world building in that, and which kind of gets to this Alan Wake 2. Honestly, never played Alan Wake 1, so I'm going in here a little bit, weird, but I never decided to play it. Yeah.
You never played it?
No, I played it, but I played it, but I don't remember it. I mean, I didn't beat it for sure. I played it when I was a kid. Don't remember beating it at all, and I don't remember much of it. So I can't say I played it. I've actually turned it on, did the flashlight. Every time I remember the big lighthouse that you were kind of trying to get to or something. But that's all I remember from Alan Wake. I don't remember anything else.
Yeah.
So.
I think that what you were saying earlier about the hype around it, I think part of it, it's just Epic. They got money for advertising, so it's gonna be everywhere and it's gonna be in your face. And I think that's fair. They paid for it like everybody else do, so it's their time to shine. But another thing is, I think that Alan Wake and Remedy are critic favorites because any reviewer or anybody, they're always going to talk about Max Payne. They're always going to talk about Alan Wake as far as like really good games that they enjoyed. And so Alan Wake 2 bringing that all together, because I mean, it's not really a spoiler if you're already playing the game, but Alan Wake wrote all the other Remedy games. All their other games take place in Alan Wake's world because he wrote all those stories. So if you are already interested in Remedy and you like their writing, you like their characters, they're like tying it all together in like the Remedy universe. So I think anybody who's got in at any point, it kind of like will grow over time. I think Alan Wake, the original, was bigger, had like a bigger fan base than Control. But since it's all tied together regardless, you just bring everything together.
Yeah.
That's one thing going forward that a lot of other games don't get.
Yeah, and that's good. I think that's the best part about it. So I don't want to keep us here, but yeah, Alan Wake for me at least is really shaping up to be a good game, and hopefully by the end of it I can come back in here by this next week, because that's when you guys will know if I beat it or not, and if Jalen got his Vault Edition. Yeah, I'll let y'all know. And but yeah, I think I said I'm enjoying it a lot. I think I'm gonna breeze through it. I don't think it's gonna be a stop and go type situation. I think what I'm already seeing from it, what I'm playing of it, the graphics of it, man, everything is just great. So I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. What else? So Bungie. Bungie decided to lay off a lot of folks. I say 100 folks. 8% of their staff they let off. What? It's not funny. First off, I don't know if I just heard some chuckles. It's not funny. 8% of people lost their jobs, and it's simply due to people stop playing the game. They're saying, at least that's what they're blaming it on. They're saying, oh, y'all left us in, so we can't afford to pay these people, so they gotta go. So now they're outsourcing some of those jobs, and overall they basically came out and stated that their revenue for the year, they're not going to hit their mark by 45%. You know how bad you gotta be at forecasting and lose it by 45%? Like, that's not a great, like, I can understand 10%, 15%, but almost half of your income revenue for the year, you're gonna miss that mark, and you just not talking about it in November? What are you doing? What were you thinking? So I probably understandably so, nobody liked the Lightfall. Everybody thought it was garbage, and everybody stopped playing the game after a while because, Destiny has had a problem with progression for forever. It does not feel like you're doing anything of meaning. Everything is something but everything is nothing at the same time. Every time I play that game, that's how I feel. Like, okay, I'm doing something, I got this, but what is this purple this purple weapon gonna do for me that 25,000 others don't? What is this item here gonna do for me that this other item don't? What? And it's like it became so incremental, and it became so, you know, pushed to the breaking point that after a while, you know, Diablo came out. This is the worst year for Lightfall to be trash. Diablo came out. There was plenty of games in the beginning of the year. Resident Evil, Dead Space. There's Overwatch 2 having a good time. Halo coming back in a big way. We have, you know, Apex Legends finally getting cross progression. You know, you have Fortnite throughout the year anyway, and you have these larger battle royales and things like that. Battlefield 2042 finally becoming a significant player again, or at least a decent player in the battle royale market. Call of Duty not finna launch and go crazy in a second. Warzone 2.0 came out this year, right? Or no?
This year, no. I mean, it's been going, but that's also going to get an update later this year too. So.
Yeah, so I think there's just been such a significant amount of flooded games that came out that may be massive multiplayer online games that may take away from what you used to see these people playing with Destiny on. They're just going and playing different games. They're looking at different stuff. And it definitely impacted them. And I didn't think it was going to be 45% impactful. But this is significant enough to kind of put us in a space where maybe that wasn't the best move for them to kind of buy Bungie. It was an interesting move. I didn't think it was a bad move until like now. I think that they were bringing them on to help them build up their live games of service, and the biggest one they got is 45% down. Does that tell you that I'm confident that you have a plan to win? Heck no. So they had to lay off people. It had to lay off a lot of people. I mean, not a lot, but 100. That's 8% of their staff. And from for their staff amount, that is a lot. And yeah, I don't know. I wanted to come on here and I wanted to give them some advice in regards to what they could do to make the game more interesting, more fun, more enjoyable, more or less of a chore. Like I called it Destiny is still my job for a reason, because it's literally a job. It's not fun in a degree that it was ever. And I don't think it was ever fun. I think it was just something we did and we could talk as we did it. I think there was a lot of fun to be had when winning and being competitive, but most of the other parts of that game was just grindy to get to the enjoyable moments that we enjoyed. So, I mean, obviously I played that game for a very long time, so I can't crap on it too heavily, but yeah, what are y'all thoughts on Destiny, and what do you think mostly impacted them the most this year? Like, what do you feel catapulted them to this space like now? Like I said, there's a botch Lightfall, there's a bunch of new games coming out, there's just their model, attrition. Do you think this is just a year for them to break?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but Lightfall being mid is probably the biggest factor, because Destiny, obviously since they're 40 some percent down, their whole like funding of the game is based on constant like engagement, like people getting on every day, every week, every month to keep playing the game, keep spending money. And I think that is unhealthy for that game specifically, as game as a service, because a lot of them fall into that issue where it's like, every year our player counts keep going up, every year our revenue keeps going up, so we're gonna keep banking on that to be a constant. And then when it's not, now we got to quickly scale back. Fortnite had the same issue this year where they're like, oh well, Fortnite, our revenue was down and our player counts were not what we expected, so we got to cut 500 people this year because Fortnite is not growing like it's supposed to. And I think that's it might be make sense from from a business point, but as far as like that's not a healthy way to run the game if you want the game to be around long term, because the numbers can't grow forever. Even if Lightfall was still good, there's a lot of competition this year, and people are not just going to be spending 1,000 hours on the game all the time. Those numbers are going to drop off. So I think that obviously whatever they do next needs to be good. You need to keep your existing players happy, and if you're going to get people to come back, they got to feel like you're providing something good. But at the same time, I think they need to long term think about other ways to like how can they not increase revenue, but like make sure that they have money, not losing money. Maybe they need a second game. Maybe they need a different way to monetize that can help out. But at the end of the day, I don't play Destiny regularly, so I can't tell you all the specifics. I know that some people were saying that the game has had issues and they're not happy about that. But I think those players, like if you think about it, people complain about Call of Duty all the time. If you go to YouTube, they will tell you Call of Duty is garbage,
trash,
but it's still in bank every single day, and it keeps growing. So I think there are outside factors
formula, that winning formula. Go ahead, but go ahead.
But yeah, there are definitely outside factors that are affecting Destiny, and I don't know if Jalen, if you wanted to chime in, but I think overall there's something else going on in the industry overall, because everybody has been laying off people. Like I think I just saw the stats today. Like this year alone, 6,000 developers were laid off, and from big studios like Insomniac, Naughty Dog, Bungie, Epic Games. So it's not even like the ones like what was that Square Enix fantasy game with the black girl name? Yeah, they got laid off, but that's because their game didn't do well. And same thing with Avowed. But even the games that are gonna win Game of the Year, not Avowed. What was
Immortals of
Magic? Yeah.
I was like,
Immortals
of Avian came out yet? They laid people off and it came out yet? God, no.
But yeah, some games that are going to be Game of the Year nominees laid off a whole bunch of people. So it's not necessarily that the studio is losing money. I think it's something in the water.
Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 too. They did the same thing. They did. They laid off a lot of staff. That's why they unionized. But what I'm seeing is that they're preparing for a downturn next year. I think everybody's preparing for a significant hard hit to and a hard, like at least a soft landing for a recession and interest rates going up, everything inflation wise. I think people are preparing to cut out a lot of additional and start to just focus and hone in on what they need to retain. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these companies are making a lot of money too. They're not like they're doing terrible. It's like they're just looking to sometimes gear up for a hard year or a downturn, and more than likely we're going to see all these layoffs, and then next year when people realize that it may not be as bad of a recession as they think, we're going to see a lot of people getting paid back. Getting hired back, but to do this right over Christmas and Thanksgiving, man, I don't know. It don't sit right with me.
And the Bungie one is probably one of the worst because Bungie, for the longest time, they were the go-to studio. Like they hired a bunch of people this year who were laid off because they're like, oh, we got permanent work from home and all these benefits. And Sony just bought us for a couple $2 billion, so we're in a good space. And then to have to start dropping
lay off people is crazy. And they kind of, even somebody brought up on Twitter that there was a article or something that stated that they went and positioned themselves under, for Sony, because they wanted to make sure that they weren't going to have to lay off any people, and then they still end up laying off people. So it's kind of like, man, I don't know. But I mean, it's crazy to see, and it's hard to it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what we call capitalism in America. It is the worst. It is basically what we thrive on, man. It's kind of like it's corporate America, it's capitalism, but that is how we, I guess, stay the most lucrative, even though we got like don't talk about that debt, G. The debt, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about how much debt U.S. is in, but it's just interesting, I think I have
a debt that don't exist.
Oh yeah, that debt that don't exist. Yeah, for sure.
Keep
that printing money. We gotta keep printing that money, baby. Keep printing that money, baby. But yeah, it's an interesting thing for real, and I feel bad for them, and I feel like it could have. I don't know if this could have been avoided. It feels like 8% isn't enough to kind of, turn back around to 45%, and then the fact that they were having them, figure out ways and try to stay and crunch to kind of make ends meet, and for them people that was in the trenches with you to be laid off is kind of crazy. But I mean, it is what it is. I think Bungie will probably have a lot of more blowback than they expect from this 8%. I think it's going to be a lot more impactful for their games, their future games. And I mean, obviously, I don't care that Sony bought them. I feel like that's just like, it is what it is now. But I think that's going to be an impactful thing to Sony as well, because I think games of service, they were ramping up for this. To go out and have, Jim Ryan go out and spend $8 billion to push on this games of service, and then now it's being all pulled back, tells me a lot about what positions Bungie's in, because I think they were even supposed to look at making the factions for Last of Us, and they stopped.
But yeah, factions canceled.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring up about Bungie, 3 things that the next expansion delayed a couple months.
Yep.
Their next game, Marathon, delayed like to 2025. It's supposed to be next year. And not that it's a big deal, but they also laid off their main composer who makes all the music for Destiny.
Yep.
So I feel like Destiny is going to be in a hard place for a while. They're really going to be holding them pockets tight, and hopefully they can get people back when they do the next expansion. But yeah, Bungie's going to be in a tight spot for a while.
No, I agree. I think the Bethesda move makes a lot more sense to me, especially when you got a bunch of different IPs, a bunch of different studios and companies, and I thought it was a fluke. Honestly, I thought they were making a bad move, but from that compared to what Bungie, I think putting all your eggs in one basket, and you got to pay for that. I mean, you can build your game around it. You can build your world around it. You can build your studio, your headquarters, and all this stuff around this one game. But it better be good. Because once it's not, you hitting a 45% hit to your bottom line, and that's tough to take. Like nobody can run a company in that type of position, especially when you have to worry about what the people are saying about your product. Like, it's hard for you to turn around products that are currently live service, and it takes time for things to be built to make that turnaround. Like, this is not a product they can take off the market, fix, and put it back on and go back to what they were doing. It has to still work. It has to still continue to provide work, but it also has to innovate. And for you not to have had a game in They haven't had a new game since it launched. So it's not like they have anything else to fall back on. There's nothing that they can do to spend off. I mean, they could probably try to sell out some, some services or something like that, but it's really difficult to keep that afloat. And I think that it is all a bad management call. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm not too keen on Bungie, but I haven't been for a very long time. I think the sentiment is true that the game is bad, and unfortunately, sometimes you do lose your core audience, but you have to figure out a way to rebuild that. And it definitely ain't gonna be with Eververse. It ain't gonna be with your silver coins. It ain't gonna be with your grind. It's gonna be with some innovative things. It's gonna be with some new maps. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about new PvP maps. We haven't had those in forever. I think Quadrant was the last one we ever got that was real, and that was a long, long time ago. So let's talk about how to really reinvent your game and bring back the
It's been that long?
Bro, it's been that long.
I think it's time to admit it. It's time for Destiny 3.
I mean, they need to reboot.
Drop Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even if for me, like I'm never gonna get back into Destiny until they get rid of the vaulting. Yeah. And I don't think they can do that with what they have with that engine or that game right now. Like they have to take out stuff, they have to balance it a certain way. So for me, Destiny 2 is a wash, and it's gonna be that way until we get a reset. And not necessarily like erase everything like they did last time, but we need a fresh point where it's like everybody's starting from the same place and it's all gonna be good from here.
Yeah, I think they're gonna it's gonna be realized a lot sooner than we think. I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. I think Final Shape was gonna turn it around for them, but they can't even get to Final Shape. They can't. So it doesn't provide enough. Like Final Shape that was never going to provide enough for me to jump back into that game. Period. Because Lightfall was supposed to do it, and once Lightfall didn't do it, I was like, I'm not finna jump back in now. So they had a pivotal moment, and it kind of they screwed the pooch when they were supposed to realize that they're a narrative driven game now, and they have to innovate on that, but they didn't. So it is what it is. But I feel for the people that did lose their positions, and I'm hoping that a studio that I'm very fond of can pull it together. But let's move on. What else did we want to talk about? Let's talk about finals. Josh is a hater. First off, let's get that out there. Let's get it clear.
No, I can't let y'all have this one because we played way better games in the finals, and then y'all like, no, I don't want to play this. Like Bro, Rainbow Six Siege is 10 times better than the finals, but y'all hate that game.
No, we don't hate Rainbow Six Siege.
The gunplay is garbo. The movement is garbo. The 3v3 is trash.
Oh my god!
The presentation,
tight, bro. They got good music.
The presentation with the music and the fake game show things, like, and then the characters. Like
Jalen
that game is
with that music stuff because he does not like the
No,
music.
it's not. That music decent. It's better than the little Warfield type whatever music we keep hearing.
I'll say the music wasn't bad. I don't think the music really fit the tone that I wanted for the game, but I can see people listening to that type of music. But like, if I'm going to play Destiny, I don't want to listen to house music. Like,
Yeah,
it creates a lighthearted tone with the game, in conjunction with like the skins and different things like that. So it feels like it's like a game show type of thing that's going on. So like, it's better than
what is it, EDM? Is that what they call it? The type of the
Yeah, it was like
the
some sort of
club
dance
music,
music or something.
that
Mm-hmm.
you got bouncing on the I mean it fits into what we're doing. What I was talking about is not giving it a fair shake and just saying it's trash. Like that's what I'm talking
I
about,
gave
Josh.
it more than a fair shake than y'all. I
Uh,
played the game months ago.
yeah, what? Yeah, I mean, I understand you played it months ago, but I was trying to say
How?
he had a play test. I thought
There was a
did he
closed
play?
beta. I signed up for the closed beta. The game looked good. I signed up for the closed beta. I played the closed beta.
Yeah.
It had a 10 level battle pass. I played the game a couple times during that week, and it was like, all right, this is not for me. And now the open beta is the same thing.
Well,
Man,
well,
that game.
what I can say, and let me bring it back here because what I would like to say about the game is that there's plenty that they can update and make better, but what they did find, what I do find enjoyable about the game is the destruction, the sandbox, and the so destruction, sandbox, and the clarity of what is available. Like there's games where they have an abundance of geometry for no reason, and it feels as if you're constantly looking through things to fight other things versus what is clear and in sight. I appreciate them having a clean space for us to fight in. It provides me some clarity that I'm normally not used to in other shooters. There are iterations in the game, but there's things in the game that could significantly be better. And the biggest one I want to talk through is the gunplay. Now, we didn't know this, Jalen, but you do have the ability to get attachments on weapons. I don't know if they are for all weapons or if it's for some, but you do have the ability to earn and obtain attachments to make the red dots and things like that better. But what do unfortunately the gunplay still feels floaty. It feels too unresponsive, and since it feels too inaccurate when you're shooting, and obviously those things don't fly when it comes to competitive shooters for me at all. It's just like, why am I playing this if I'm not actually hitting the thing that I'm shooting at? So
Yeah, they gotta fix that.
I
I don't know
think
how.
I think that it has to do sometimes with the coding or the code or the servers, and it has a lot to do with just how they the feedback of a shot and the velocity of the bullet. It just feels as if it's not attached to what you're shooting at times. So they have to synergize all of that to make it work properly. That's a criticism, and there's plenty of others. There is the whole lack of identity within the world at some points. I understand what they were trying to do, and like I said, I praise them for it, but then I also seek something else in a way. How do you make it unique in a more, plain area? Like me and Josh, we were talking about the buildings and how we were going through all the buildings and there's nothing in them. They're just buildings, and we were like, okay, well, how does this how does this become more engaging? How does building play become more engaging? And I think the destruction, we have yet to see the true level of destruction yet. I think we were playing like random stuff and nobody was really doing everything, the crazy things, and we never seen like a whole building get toppled, none of that stuff. So what I'm looking for is creativity and the dynamic aspect of the game, and I think we haven't seen that yet, but we haven't played enough to see it. And there's things that we could obviously do to make it better, to make it quicker, make it more engaging, make it more destructive. But for at least my brief presentation or the brief gameplay that I had, I thought it was decent enough. I won't say that it was my favorite thing to play, and I won't say that it was the worst thing, but it definitely was decent. I liked the customization. I liked the ability to have a certain classes. And I thought that they had unlockables and variety for what you could use. Obviously, it felt like some things were better than the other. The jump pad sucks on how they place it and where they place it and how it bounces. I think it should be some type of activation on your feet. As soon as you press the button, it activates your feet and you bounce up. I don't like how you have to place it then bounce. It doesn't make any sense. It makes you lose velocity, and in the way that you move in that game, it doesn't make sense for it to not work in a different way. Like, I leave a trail for a bounce pad for people, but my initial bounce is going to go this way. So then I become a leader of the pack, something that synergizes the group and not the way it all feels so cumbersome to play. Synergizing the group, when you have the heavy running through buildings, there has to be some type of trail or something that shows where you just ran through, how you ran through, and where you are currently. Maybe something even of that sort. Maybe something, it leaves a path behind, some boost for your teammates, extra melee damage, whatever the case may be. I'm looking for more synergizing techniques. That I don't have it right now. And it's supposed to be 3v3. So it supposed to incentivize you to stick with your team, but it does nothing of the sorts for you. And the kill to death is atrocious. So, criticisms, feedback, and I think we always want to lead with something to improve, right, Josh? we want to lead with something
everything.
to improve.
Yeah, improve everything. There are other games with destruction, like Battlefield, that don't have empty rooms.
No, I agree.
The gunplay is not up to par. I think the balance on the 3v3v3 is not fully there, especially I know there are better ways to play the game, but at least what we've seen, when you have the advantage, and the other teams are fighting each other, it makes it very easy to win. Anyways, I didn't enjoy the game, and I said I was worried that I don't think this game is going to find a big audience, and I was looking forward to it. But so far, what they presented to me has completely turned me off to it. So, again, I'm curious to hear from y'all. What is it that you actually like about it? Because I was surprised that y'all even like this game at all, because we have played many other shooters that I thought were good, decent to good, that we completely dropped off of. What is it about this one? Even Hyperscape is not that different in tone and gunplay and abilities.
Well, Hyperscape unfortunately had that very weird the bounce mechanic. I feel like this is a lot more grounded in a sense, where everybody isn't in the air. You're not looking in the air constantly to see if somebody's on top of you. Hyperscape just had too much play area. So they're minimizing the play area to in front of you. And they have provided enough tools and unique, not tools, but they have provided enough weaponry that it feels as if it's fun to see what you can do in the world, I guess. Blowing people up with the rocket launchers, people running around with the melee weapons, and just slapping you with a sledgehammer.
But that's what I mean. They're only in your loadout. There are only two guns. You have a sledgehammer and you have another gun. And it's there's not a lot of variety there.
That's not what I
compared
mean by
to any
what
other
I'm saying.
shooter.
What I'm saying about what I'm saying when I say variety, I guess I'm not talking about your loadout per se. I'm talking about variety in how you can engage
in your playstyle
and
how you approach the situation.
Yeah, it gives you a freedom that most games doesn't really cater to. And it provides you something that, you're not it's like getting an arsenal of things and then then someone telling you, okay, figure out how to make this work. it has that element to it to me, like a Zelda. Like I know that it'd probably be easier to shoot you with an arrow, but I'm gonna throw some dazzle fruit on here and make you go to sleep, or I'm gonna make you do something because I can. And so it has this sense of creativity to it that allows it to feel more varied versus not. So it's not the fact that it has more weapons, because yeah, Call of Duty can throw as many weapons as it want. If I'm gonna play as a shotgun, that's gonna play as just like every other shotgun. To me, it's not gonna play that much different. And how I play and how I go to back, because I'm still gonna want to be able to aim down sights faster. I'm still gonna be wanting to be able to move faster. And I'm still gonna want to be able to stray faster. So all of those things are still going to be things I look for in the next shotgun. But I was talking about the finals, because it provides this, like, you know, sense of freedom when it comes to how do I want to tackle this? Do I want to go above them? Do I want to shoot through the rocket launcher? Do I want to break down the walls in the front of them and just throw bombs on them? Do we want to come up with a game plan? Like, you know, when Destiny first gave us axiom bolts and all of our different things, it was like so many different ways we can tackle a problem. One of the best ways we ever did it was throw 3 axiom bolts and let them get sapped. But it was giving us that creativity to have fun within the world in the sandbox. So I guess I'm enjoying that part. But I get what you're saying. Like there is obviously flaws to the game.
I mean, it's not that it's just flaws. It's, to me, I think that the version of all this stuff that they're doing in this game is done better elsewhere in every single way. Like destruction, pick any Battlefield game ever has better destruction. And it's like, yeah, you can break down the wall, or like you could throw a grenade through the windows. Like, yeah, that's
why
cool.
You hate that we don't like
in a lot of games.
Bro, I like Battlefield. Jalen don't like Battlefield, but why you hate that we don't like Battlefield?
I didn't say that. I said any other game does it better.
I know you got a chip on your shoulder because we don't like
Battlefield.
No,
I don't like Battlefield 4. I don't like Battlefield 5. I don't like any other Battlefield. 2042 was fun. Moving away from Battlefield, Rainbow Six has way more interesting engagements because you literally can poke a hole through the wall and shoot people. It's like there are other games that give you the creativity that I think are done really good in those games. In the finals, I don't see anything that is done really good. That's my whole point. Everything in the game is done okay. The gunplay is okay. The classes, there are 3 classes. They all got 1 ability, and that's it. We didn't see any attachments. Maybe they got attachments. Whatever. You got a flashbang grenade, a frag grenade, and a pyro grenade.
Well, they do have different abilities.
Why should I be excited about these things?
You do have different abilities, but I'm not saying you got to be excited. I'm saying that because other things may exist that you deem more impressive, does not take away that this game can be impressive. That's all I'm saying.
So
I think right now Battlefield
is impressive.
And Rainbows. I just told you.
So I'll give the game a compliment. I think their customization is impressive because no other game has detailed body customization other than like The Division.
Big boy.
As far as everything else, I don't see anything impressive.
Well,
if that's fine. The game is still fun. You have fun with your friends and you enjoyed the vibe. Cool. You enjoyed the game. I still don't think the game is impressive. So that being said, that doesn't mean I'm mad at y'all for enjoying the game. It's just y'all had a strong defense of this game and you're like, this is really good. I enjoyed it. And I don't see why.
Well, when I explain it, you just tell me that there are other things that do it better, Josh. So that tells me that you can't. So
you enjoyed it, or is it impressive? You enjoyed it, or is it impressive? You enjoy shooting. You enjoy shooting.
I said it.
The AK-47 in this game. It was your favorite AK-47.
Man, look, this man cooking. Look, what I'm trying to say is that the game, I enjoyed parts of it. You're right. I enjoyed the customization. I enjoyed having the ability to make my character look and be weird on the playfield. I enjoyed that there was a reason for us to stick together in certain situations. I enjoyed that there was plays that could be made to save our teammates and revive elsewhere, and it was all in real time. There was no real reason to have to go elsewhere and go to a freaking like a truck or a respawn beacon. I can literally just help my boy get up if I'm good enough at said game. I like that there is a skill, at least to me, that feel like there is a level of skill that could be improved to become better at certain aspects of said game, like breaking and destruction, like being able to move nimbly with your grapple gun, like being able to utilize the mechanics of the world to break down cash banks and set them elsewhere where you can maybe fortify in a better space. I like the unique parts of the game, but every time I say that, you just say that was elsewhere. So I'm trying to tell you what I like, but stop bringing in other things.
So I'm going to bring in other things because this game has competition with every other game. So that don't make sense. First. Second, my whole point is that what's our main genre? We play first-person shooters, all right? How many first-person shooters are out this year that are either fun or really popular? It's like there's Fortnite, there's Counter-Strike, there's Halo, there's Rainbow Six, there's 1,000 other games, and you keep telling me, oh, this one is good, but I can't compare it to the other games. So how is it good?
I'm telling you you told me to tell you what I liked. Not
okay.
For you to, and not for me to tell you what I like, so you can tell me why.
I'm not saying that it has to be
like in this game.
Call of Duty killer or anything like that. You told me what you like. I didn't see it personally, but fair. You enjoyed the game. I can't tell you that you didn't enjoy the game. Now, Jalen, is there anything about this game that you enjoy that gives you a reason that you want to come back to it?
Man, I already told you like I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have the best review on games and stuff like that. I don't play enough games, right? So I'm gonna leave that. That's a disclaimer. But I will say the game gave me a feel of something different. I love music in games and stuff. I know that music is not it's like EDM kind of thing, right? All right. Mm-hmm. There's better EDM type music. Like that's not good EDM music, but the game, it has this combination. Because I remember I'm playing it. I'm like, man, this game kind of giving what's that movie called Purge? It's kind of giving Purge vibes with all the little different fits and I'm saying all that type of stuff going on. Yeah. Yes, but it's like this. It got like this game show type of feel. It got this more lighthearted EDM music and stuff, so it don't feel as like crazy, and it feels a little bit more like, all right, like it's kind of interesting. Like you got the different maps, and you know the stadium, the audience and stuff is watching you. So based off of that, the setting. Yeah, the setting off top, it was like, okay, this is interesting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole world, that type of thing. Because if I'm playing all these other games, like, okay, I can go play Destroy stuff and Battlefield and stuff like that. I already done played war shooter games, and I've been playing war shooting games since I can remember. So it's the same thing. So when y'all say Call of Duty, I'm like, I don't really want to go play that vibe. I'm cool with first person shooter games and stuff like that because they let me take it back. First person shooter games, then in my head, they didn't hit this point where they like, when Call of Duty first came out, people always talking about COD killer. Not first came out, when they got big on Xbox with the multiplayer. Everybody go when they made the first person shooter, at least the community I was incorporated with. We need to make a game that's better than Call of Duty, whether it's Battlefield, Bad Company 2, Crisis, Halo, just those sorts of games. They always emphasize COD killer, and me going and trying those different games, and they all going for the same type of Warfield, militant, those sorts of things. it gets a little exhausting. So I'm like, I'm gonna just play Call of Duty and not play anything else. Now when I want to play Call of Duty because I don't want to see that setting anymore, that's when you get other first person shooter games that might catch my attention. Like now you got Apex. Okay, this is something a little bit different. I mean, I know y'all said Titanfall and stuff like that, but again, that game felt a little too militant and stuff, so I couldn't fully ingest the game. Like, it was something that I was a little bit similar. So I'm not gonna take time to get into the mechanics because I already don't like the setting of the game. So then you get games like Destiny where you get a space shooter, those sorts of things. This is something different. I can ingest this game because it's something different. Like I feel like I'm a hero with a gun and stuff like that. It's a little different. So this game come along. The point that I'm trying to make is that this feels like something different. There's an intimate teamwork aspect of the game because I only like to play games where I'm playing with y'all, like the multiplayer games. The setting is cool. Like, I mean, it's a decent feel. Like the artwork not bad. I mean, I feel like I can.
You just made one of your best points ever. That was a great point, and I understand it completely because that's exactly how I feel about most of those other games. I just feel the exact same way, and that's probably why we deviate and we go play other games. But I get what Josh is also trying to get at us is that, these games there's plenty of like unique experiences to be had in those types of games, but that it is largely due to setting, atmosphere, and a lot when it comes to gaming for us as of late. And I think you hit the nail right on the head with that one.
And it goes right into the point with the game. I don't feel like there's I'm gonna be honest. I said, you know what? I'm gonna play this doggone tutorial. The tutorial ain't giving me that much information. I'm like, you know what? I appreciate this tutorial because if I'd have had to sit through 20 minutes on learning how to shoot a gun, do these different things, and have all these extra mechanics in the game, I'm not gonna lie, it would have been a little bit harder for me to ingest. All right. So now the other aspect, I agree with Josh. The game got empty buildings. I feel like I'm playing COD 4, bro. All them COD 4 buildings, they empty in there. Empty buildings. I don't think the texture is the best. The gunplay is borderline. I ain't gonna say it's atrocious, but I just feel like my gun floating around, just bullets not hitting nowhere, not registering, people killing me quick. I don't like none of that stuff either. But I can look past it to some capacity to try to understand the customization of the game, try to understand the different classes, different things that I can do. I feel like they allow a lot of versatility. Yeah, I mean, they're going to need more objective game types and stuff like that. But it's a different objective. I ain't never played an objective like that. I mean, it's not just King of the Hill. Like, there's a little bit more to it. I ain't never been put in a 3v3v3. So it's like this game is offering a lot of different things, and the destruction, all those things, it's like a jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, I can do all those things in this game, and it seems like it's a little interesting. Let me give it a little bit of time because this game touched on things that I didn't get to touch on before, or I got to go, submit to one of these environments or settings or atmospheres of the game. But I just want to do one thing in the game. Like, I don't feel like I got to do that with this game. Like, so I would be inclined to try different things because y'all know I like to switch my shaders. This game, I'm not going to switch a shader. I'm like, let me actually try something different. Like, I mean, it's still bogus, like with the hammer killing you on one hit and the guns ain't shooting right. People off of me with hand cannons real quick. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's still some BS to it. But, like, I can put goo walls up and, I got stuck in one of them one time, But I look past that, though, because I'm like, I just threw my glue wall down and they should have had their game fixed, but I still should have threw my glue wall better. Like, I can throw poison on my teammate. Like, if they can incorporate and make stuff like if you put poison on your teammate, they might take damage, but they can shoot poison. Like, just if they do stuff like that, like I can see they can do different things, and that's why I thought the game was interesting.
Canvas, and it feels as if it has a lot. It can grow a lot. I mean, that's what I came away from it with, and I was like, okay, this is just a test. Okay, we can. There's a lot that they can do here. It's like a gamey type situation. They can make anything out of this, and they can do a lot of different things. But John.
The game's still not that good, though. Like, let's face it. Quality wise, the game ain't that good. It's not impressive. It's just different.
I think it runs okay. It runs okay. It runs well, at least enough for me to feel like on most systems that most people could play it. It looks fine enough. It kind of reminds me of like Starfront. I mean, what's it called? Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront from DICE, and because people that kind of did that, but It has that FOV that I like, and the feel of being able to see the entire space a lot. But yeah, man. I mean, I hate to disappoint, but I do enjoy it a decent enough to try it again later, Josh. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean,
but
so
It ain't
Jalen
an impressive
explanation
game.
was
Like,
no, the
game
Jalen
mediocre.
explanation was straight because it does have a different vibe. Personally, I think the game show vibe is corny, but it is different
It
than other
is.
games, so it is unique. So I'm not going to knock it for being unique. It's just from playing with y'all for like what almost 10 years at this point. Y'all giving a lot of leeway to this game that y'all don't give the other game. But y'all had fun. And I want y'all to have fun playing the game. So I'm not mad at that.
It's not a game where I can be like, yeah, I'm finna get here and play this for like 2-3 hours. This, you get in there, you run some matches and stuff and laugh.
There are like 10 games that we downloaded. Jalen saw the character in the game and immediately cut that mug off. When he saw the animation, like I don't like the run animation. I deleted the game. I don't like the run animation.
Nah, Jalen don't. We not saying that Jalen don't give us a run for our money when it comes to just trying to figure out if a game is he gonna play it or not. I'm saying that there was, I'm saying that this one, and I get it. Like I said, and that's why I kept saying, I was like, man, he got some heat for us. He like, bro, I can't believe y'all giving this game time of day. I was like, bro, what can I say? I like games. She's like, why you keep coming back buying games? Like, man, what can I say? I like games. That's all I got, dog. That's all I got.
Man, y'all know we cut one game on or something like that. I'm hardy to seen it somewhere, bro. Like, yeah, what's that game called? Striker Raptorville or something like that? I'm like, bro, whatever that game called, I'm like, bro, why am I just shooting these dinosaurs, bro? I feel like I'm playing some sort of Halo.
No cap, you ain't played no dinosaur game before.
No,
I haven't played no dinosaur game. It was a futuristic game. You got this big old
I mean, it was generic.
And the dinosaurs coming from portals with bad voice acting, with bad music. I'm just looking like, bro, I feel like I'm playing, what's that game called? Anthem? I'm playing Anthem / Warframe or whatever, and I'm just fighting waves of enemy that I fought waves of enemy on a bunch of games before. And the voice acting is bad, like summoning raptors, and I'm confused on what's going on with the game and the story, and then the gunplay it just wasn't nothing redeeming about the game. The setting was already off, so I'm already turned off.
Yeah. Nah, and again, I think, like I said, it's a lot about the atmosphere, and I think when he made that point, it was a really good point. But overall, I'm still interested in like what it does next. But that is finals. I don't want to. We talked about it for way too long, way longer than I expected. But that is the finals. I think we all have very strong opinions, and the good thing about it is that we value each other's opinion on that. So we're gonna keep it pushing. But overall, the finals is out. If you want to try it, you can download it. It is in open beta. What else? I think what we're gonna finish up on is the PS5 Slim with the bundle. So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is coming with the PS5 Slim for free. You can buy it for $500, so that you can. I guess it's a way for people to be able to get the PS5 Slim. I'm talking about the disc drive one with the game, and have a $70 discount, I suppose. But to me, this is a Sony console selling with a Microsoft game, and however many they sell, it's all going to Microsoft's bottom line. So this is an interesting thing to see, because the more they sell, the better they help Xbox. And I've noticed that, the lockpick and all that stuff, and how this console is so controversial because it's just got so much going wrong for it. It's very ugly. It almost is the same size as the old one. And then on top of that, it did get a price hike on the slim version. On the discless version. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on the PS5 Slim bundle? Do you think that is going to tick the mark to get people to purchase? I did send it to you, Josh, because I knew you was going to buy Modern Warfare 3. I was like, maybe he'd buy, if you want a PS5, you buy this. Do you think that'll help?
Hold on. Let me just ask something real quick. That PS5 bundle that you had put in the group chat, is it $500 for the disc version and Modern Warfare?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, for sure. I thought, okay. All right, but.
Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to, you can get the game and then sell the console. I'm pretty sure you could still get $500, but that's a lot of work. So, but yeah, that is something you could. That is something that comes with the game for free at that point.
Yeah, I say people who don't have a PS5 yet, that's a decent buy-in. Because a lot of bundles are like $550. You get the console and Spider-Man. I think that those might be slightly, not better, because you are saving money with the Call of Duty one. It's just I personally don't want to buy a console for like Call of Duty, because I don't know. I think I was just gonna say, I think the market of people who want a new console and want Call of Duty, there's not much overlap. I personally think, whether you already got the game or you already have a PS5.
Gotcha.
But it's cool, and you are saving money. And since it's the slim version, that it has a disk drive on that one.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is slightly better value in that sense. You're just saving money.
Yeah.
But at the point you made about it all going to Microsoft, like that's their goal. That's why they spent all that money. It's a smart move. Call of Duty's gonna bring in bank, and PlayStation got the Call of Duty exclusive stuff lined up. They got exclusive characters. They got exclusive bunch of stuff for Modern Warfare 3, and that's all back to Microsoft. So.
Yeah, I know. I think it was very golden of them to kind of take what they already been. They have literally been kicking their butts when it comes to Call of Duty. So it's now not even going to matter what they do, because it's just all coming to me anyway. So it's a smart move. It's a play move, and it's a big move. But I think that there's value in owning that IP, of course, and Sony knew that, and that's why they wanted to stay so close and tied to them and wanted to block it so bad. But that IP itself, when it comes to console gaming, is such a significant thing. Not only is the first parties, but they got to have something to play between those first parties. And Call of Duty, NBA 2K, those are the games most of the time. So, I just think that that there's a lot of interest around seeing what this does and how this impacts, because it does tell me a lot when you can literally give the game away for free. It tells me that, one, you got the cost down significantly, or two, you've just been embedded with them so long you think that Call of Duty is just that thing. Whatever the case may be, Xbox got his hands in it. So I just never think, it's crazy. That's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that that they own them. I just never would have expected it. But when you got a big checkbook, you can do what you want. And if anybody gonna do what they want, it's gonna be Microsoft. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else. I didn't want it to be a super long episode, and I think the other thing that we wanted to kind of touch on we kind of already talked about with Alan Wake and all that good jazz. I mean, Apex Legends, unfortunately, their cross generation is weird. It's not the greatest. You have to, cross progression. You have to actually wait for them to push out an update or something to you, a notification, basically saying your progression is ready and you can start it. So it could take weeks, they said. So you're not day one being able to play on your console of your choice or platform of choice. So it kind of still puts it off to me. Like, I don't really care. So until that actually happens, I'm not that interested in jumping back in. But once the cross progression is started and everything is good there, I think that is when we could definitely take a look and see what we can do in regards to whether or not I still like playing Apex. I was playing a little bit today and I was like, don't hit the same. But maybe it'll feel better when I got my skins. But then I was like, nah, it's just going to remind me how much I spent on this game. So I don't know. I don't know yet if I'm going to invest time learning keyboard and mouse to play this game again, to be honest. I'd rather just play Call of Duty, something a little bit less, a little bit mindless and a little bit easier to understand. Apex is just, it's always been creative, but at the same time, it's been fun. I don't know. It just didn't feel fun when I was playing. And I don't know if it's just have to do with me not liking the game no more or what. But I still got to download it. I still expect y'all to download it. And I expect us to give it a fair shake when we get the cross progression started. But yeah, what are y'all quick thoughts on Apex Legends as of cross progression started? I think Jalen was very clear that it didn't change the game. But what's your thoughts, Josh?
Because what is it going to change?
I mean, it could change your opinion on it. Like, a different platform, different controller. I hated the PlayStation controller. I always have. Couldn't play it on my Xbox controller. And then finally got like a system where I could play it on my Xbox controller by buying a third-party thing. And then they stopped letting you use it for the PS5. So then I was like, I don't want to play this game no more. So then I stopped playing it until now I can play it on my platform of choice, which is going to be PC with either Xbox controller or my keyboard and mouse. That is literally why I stopped playing the game.
You stopped playing Apex because of the controller.
Yeah, the platform. I didn't like playing on PlayStation. And I thought
what's wrong with PlayStation? Is it just the controller?
All my progress elsewhere was pointless to me, so I didn't want to play it no more.
So is it everything around the PlayStation, or is it the controller?
No, remember when the PS5 version dropped and you could play it at 4K? Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to drop 120 frames per second? That same time that we stopped playing it a lot, because that's when I was like, I don't want to play it on here anymore. I want to play it on my Xbox. So then I started playing on my Xbox, but at the same time, I was level 10 or 14. And I was like, I'm not going to upgrade my battle pass on here when I got all my stuff on PlayStation. So then I had to force myself to turn on my PlayStation. And I didn't like it. So then I stopped playing the game in general.
I mean, it don't change nothing for me. I stopped playing that. I didn't even know that was a whole. I remember you mentioning something about that. I told you that game got cheeks when they took out Olympus and wanted to bring Seer in with the take away the Spitfire and an alternator and then put it back in and change. I mean, I couldn't take no more Storm Point. That game literally caused a storm in my brain, and I couldn't take it no more. So in order to alleviate that storm, I had to point that game in the other direction.
Nah, so you, I know you saying I know what you're saying. Basically, yeah, this isn't changing anything. I think that's what we kind of talked about the last time. And I get that too. It's not like the game changes at all. It's just all about cross progression for me, and it's about being able to play on different platforms. But it does not change the underlying issues that I have with the game. But there has been a lot of changes since we stopped playing, so I wanted to jump in and see what those were, how they do the battle pass, people being able to play at the end of the season and be able to get the battle pass all the way up to 100 in little to no time because of all the challenges and everything. Like, that stuff excites me because I like my time, and I don't like to play games when I don't want to play them. So maybe it would be something I could play for 10 days at the end of the season, and I get to the 100% of the battle pass instead of playing it throughout the season, because it's easier now that I got a bunch of challenges unlocked. So those things. The game has a new
character as well, so it will be a different game. I agree though that the cross progression is not going to change much for me because I already switched over to my Xbox. I can play it on there. It'd be cool to play it on PC, but again, the game is like 150 gigs. I don't know if I want that space for Apex. But also, I'm at the point where I believe, like, if you're selling microtransactions in any online game, it needs cross progression like that. That's like mandatory because that's just what you should be providing to your customer. It shouldn't be locked to a single console. You shouldn't have to rebuy anything if you switch platforms.
Yep.
Especially when you got to log in anyway to your EA account. Like, you already have my information. Like, this stuff should just be cross progression.
Yeah.
So pretty much any shooter going forward, if it doesn't launch with cross progression, that's an automatic ding to the game. So it's not going to change it, but it's nice that Apex is finally getting here.
After 17 seasons.
Yeah, they've been taking forever for, like, I mean, obviously the stuff is not basic, but like, if all these other games can come out around the same time and implement 120 FPS, cross progression, and all this type of stuff with no issue, why does it take Apex 5 years? And y'all making so much money.
Exactly. And a lot of that stuff was what we kind of finalized our thoughts on Apex. And like I said, when I went back to it, I wasn't like super enticed and having fun again. It didn't feel refreshing. I did like Conduit, and I think, I mean, right now I don't have anything. I'm literally playing on a PC, and I have like 2 characters unlocked. So it's not like I can have a refreshing experience, like, I'm coming back to all my stuff. So once that happens, I will see how I feel. But right now, it's the same old. I don't like having to start over, and obviously I'm not going to play something that's just going to get erased anyway. So I'll wait. But that's our thoughts on Apex Legends. Any final words for the people before we get up out of here? Anything y'all want to let them know? Anything going on? No?
Power to the people, and let's have some fun.
Oh my god. Let's have some fun. Power to the people. No. What was he? Was he Dominican? I think he was Dominican. They didn't, Hyperscape didn't give us a black character, but at least
they ain't gonna give us a regular one.
At least the finals did. And Apex Legends gave us one. So take that, Josh. We got a black character in the finals.
Wow, our standards have fallen.
Hey man, you saw
I mean,
those
Call of Duty
cuts? You ain't see those cuts in there? Stop playing with them. You ain't
Call of Duty got
no cut like that in Call of Duty.
Got the skin condition girl too. See, they really diverse over there.
Oh my goodness!
You talking about what Call of Duty the vitiligo?
Yeah.
I seen that. I was like, man, they trying to be like Target, bro. You ain't gonna see all the inclusive things like Target. I'm like, all right, y'all woke.
Hey man, I be walking around Target like, ooh, what is going on up here in these streets?
Hey, you tweaking, nah.
I'm just playing, dog. I'm playing. They just be having so many. They just have so many funny stuff. Like they have like so many different varieties, and I just be like, okay, I see what you're doing, and I feel like at some point my kids are going to grow up with that just being there. Like, I'm not going to feel like I'm being catered to at this. Like, I mean, they're not going to feel like they're being catered to. They're going to just feel like they're, it's just that. So that's why I'm happy about it, that it's there, because right now, I can go through it and I'm like, bro, y'all just catering. Y'all just doing this. Y'all just doing that. It doesn't feel genuine. But when they go through it and they wake up and they kind of grow up, it's gonna just be normal. So I'm fine with it right now. I just take what it is and just kind of go with it. But as long as it continues and nothing changes and stuff like that, you know. But it is funny when I walk through that mud, I'm like,
they definitely be trying too hard. That's why I'm saying Target, because I'd be like, man, y'all got everything in here, but like, I ain't gonna say ordinary people, but like the quote unquote the norms that y'all trying to incorporate. Y'all don't have those types of norms. Not saying that anything else isn't a norm. I'm just saying like y'all trying to find people of different types, or you know what I'm saying? We gonna put only them types of people in here. You be like, dang, can I just have a bro that got a regular haircut instead of having the side of his head shaved? Like most of the black people I'm in here, I see don't have that type of haircut. So can we get one of them in here?
Yeah, man.
But you know, people can. You know, it's just when it's forced.
Normal. You can't be too normal no more. You can't be straightforward with your experiences. Everybody ain't straightforward, man. You gotta be different. You gotta have a little something. So
my favorite thing is, I don't even mean to get into this topic like that, when it's Pride Month, and when like places on Facebook change their logo and stuff to incorporate that, which is cool. And then I see right in the comment section, people just start going crazy, and I just like, bro, it ain't even that serious, man.
No, it ain't. It ain't never been that serious. Like that type of stuff never bothered me. Like, it's more like I said, it's not a showing appreciation for our differences. It's when you can tell that they're putting a stupid, dumb effort in to make it so. Which, like I said, at my generation,
for capitalistic gain.
Yes, for my generation, it feels, like it feels a little bit disingenuous. But for other generations, my generation coming after me, I feel like it'd just be normal, and that's fine with me. So I don't need to be the person that is catered to right now. I just need it to change, and whatever we was doing before ain't never worked. So I'm fine.
You know what black people would say? They try to put the Black History Month to them, but man, we don't care about Xbox. Y'all switch y'all stuff to Black History Month. We want reparations. A logo not gonna help us out. That's how how we come in. Like,
hey man, we all start somewhere, G. That's what I leave it at that.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for listening as always. If you got to this part of the pod, you're the real OG. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening. We got some repeat people, so I'm always going to be appreciative of y'all. But thanks again for listening. You can always find us on wherever you find us on podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, Pandora, you name it. Wherever you can find the podcast, that's where we're going to be at. As well as I'm on YouTube for BCD Universe, where I upload this as well. I want to thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you all next week. Peace.